Hey folks, it's your pal Archie Gamble here, and I am actually reposting a video I posted yesterday after some consideration and some prompting by a viewer. I decided to do a front end video to this performance video. So I had posted, a clip of my old band Buffalo Brothers, three of the four of us, performing an acoustic version of our song, The Waiting Game. And it was filmed at the offices of the London Free Press, where we were promoting a reunion show that we did. And I think it was back like 2016 or something like that. If that's not the year, it was around there. Again, the old memory is clogged with my new shit, but I can't remember important dates like that. I've already digressed 52 seconds in. Anyway, I posted the video, which I'm proud of. It's a great song, great performance. You know, Mike was playing his Fender Rhodes, Sean playing 12-string acoustic, and me playing tambourine in the offices of the London Free Press with James Reaney, the great entertainment reporter from that paper. Very supportive guy. And Shadow. Shadow's been making cameos in my videos more lately. I think he's a camera hog. He likes it. Anywho, digression too. So, when I posted just the performance, a good friend of ours, a guy named Pete Denemy, a local musician here in town, great songwriter, he wrote mighty fine lyrics, or really fine lyrics, something like that. And you know what? It made me think. And yeah, they really are. I take no responsibility for them. But they really are really great lyrics. I'm really proud of Sean Sanders, our singer and guitar player, who wrote that song and wrote those lyrics. And it made me think, you know, like if you're a follower of my channel, you know that I've posted some music industry type videos before where I talk about, you know, how things work, the machinery behind what the public sees. And I've also talked about the inside workings of the Buffalo Brothers, which was a band I had that was on Attic Universal Records. Universal was the parent company and the distributor. So oftentimes, and most times, you'll see me discussing the relationship of a band being 4 or 5 parts. Equality within that. Financial equality, equality of opportunity, equality of expression, equality of everything. So I'm very vocal about team efforts. And, you know, that's not to say that I don't recognize that sometimes someone contributes more than the others. You know, for example, on that end, I will give this. Sean Sanders has written 100% of every lyric and melody line of every Buffalo Brothers song. What he hasn't written was all of the actual songs and music himself. However, I've touched on that before. We don't need to go over that old ground. I've already made myself clear on that, and I stand by it. Buffalo Brothers wrote songs in 2 ways. Either we got together in the room with nothing, and someone threw out a chord pattern, bass line, progression, or a rhythm, and something grew out of it into a song. And as I said, within that framework, Sean always took it home and put lyrics and melody to it, 100% of the time. And I have to, if I'm going to concede that, I have to concede the other side of the coin, which is that there is also occasions, like this song in particular, where Sean came in with a song pretty much done lock, stock, and barrel. As a matter of fact, I have to give him further credit that towards the end of the cycle, like the album had been finished, but we went back and I did a few more songs. Sean was really picking up steam and coming to us with semi-completed songs, in some occasions, like Waiting Game, pretty much completed. Now, I will say, I did contribute to the arrangement. Sean, remember, wanted to start with the band off the hop, but I said, you should start it by yourself. And that whole intro where the bass drums and keyboards come in and the 8ths on the hi-hats and 2 and 4 on the snare, no kick drum, that was my idea. I stole it from Kenny Aronoff. That's why I remember it and know. It's a Kenny arrangement for sure. And, you know, the bring downs and stuff at the end, that was with me also. But, that aside, Sean Sanders wrote that song. It came in with those chords, those parts, and those lyrics, lock, stock, and barrel from start to finish. And it sounds like it does because of the band, but he did write it. So, you know, if I'm going to elaborate on the times when the 4 of us contributed equally or almost so, then I have to be honest the other way. It's not like I've never said that Sean didn't write it, songs by himself. But I did get my backup when he, you know, famously, amongst our friends, he publicly made a statement on Facebook, which I think he's regretted since, that he was responsible for the songs, the guitars, the vocals, the lyrics, the pressing of the CD, the carrying the gear on his back across Canada. Like, it got a little ridiculous, you know. So I countermanded it by reminding him that all of our material was split 4 ways. And it got ugly. And I personally apologize for my role in that shot. If you're watching by some chance, you know I love you, and you know that I value you and your absolute huge contributions to the band, but you were not the only person that wrote those songs. But on some occasions you were. That's all I'm trying to say here. Do you understand, folks? There are songs like Stone Me and Rusty that were complete band things. We went into a room with nothing, and we came out because the 4 of us put something in the pot. And you can see the breakdown I did on Stone Me. That was my proudest moment as whatever type of songwriter I am, being in contributions, actually contributing musical parts, riffs, and ideas. And I'm very proud of that. So that's out of the way. Let's focus on Sean Sanders, the songwriter. He was great. Like, Sean was really blossoming when we were finishing the album, which is kind of sad because we had to focus on going out and going on tour and promoting that record. But he was hitting his stride, and we could have used some more time to be in a room, and he could have used some more time at home writing. But, you know, you got to do what's the task that's in front of you. And it was a privilege to have a record deal and go out and play and support a record. So I'll never be ashamed of it. We did exactly what we needed to do most of the time. It's a whole other vlog, but I'm going to stay on the positive trip that I'm on. So Sean is a very talented guy. And these squabbles we've had over the years and these resentments and stuff, it saddens me more than anything, you know. I saw Sean a couple days ago and he didn't even acknowledge me. And I mean, this is someone I've had in my life since I was a teenager. He was my best friend at one point in time, and he was in fact my third brother. And it makes me sad. We are civil by email and text and anything to do with band business, although he does have a bad habit of not returning his messages. And yeah, I'm not gonna you, buddy. But that said, I thought, you know, we were at a place where this is kind of all behind us, but I don't know. He has his reasons, you know. I walked into a beautiful kind of fake gathering we had for our friend, ex-Helix guitarist, Dan Fawcett. And Sean was right by the front bar, by the front door. And he was turning, and he saw me. I saw him. He saw me sideways, and he turned and faced the other way. And then never said a word to me, which breaks my heart. You know, I don't know. Yeah, so, I don't know. I'm hoping videos like this he'll see them and know that how I feel, is that I do love him, and even though we are not actively in a friendship, or actively making music together, I do acknowledge that he was a very big part of Buffalo Brothers, and that, in fact, some of those songs on that record, he did write. You know, I will leave it at that. Like, I'll tell you, actually, to give you further examples, The Waiting Game, he brought in Snowball, which is a song that was added later in the album, as was Waiting Game. So that's what I'm saying. The record company took 4 songs off the record to put on an EP. And then we had to replace those 4 songs. And that was right when Sean was hitting his stride as a writer. So he brought stuff in that was basically finished. You know, it sounds the way it does because of the 4 of us, but they were songs that were written with basic arrangements from beginning to end. So this song, Waiting Game, as I said, Snowball, another ballad. You know, like, I really think that Sean hit this one out of the park, and I think Pete Denemy is right. The lyrics are strong and really, you know, it should have been a single. I think, actually, we did put it out as a 3rd attempt at a single. What we did was we put out Stone Me, which went to number 41, the national charts, 1 position away from breaking top 40 across the country. And in some markets in Canada, about 10 markets, about 7 markets, sorry, it went top 10, rather. You know, Montreal, Ottawa, London, a few cities like that. Stormy went top 10. But nationally, on the national charts, it went to number 41. And then the record company put out, I forget what the second single was, but it was just one of those songs that I hate. There's 2 songs on the record we did. There's one called Nut, and it was us trying to be like alternative, and grunge was big at the time, and we were trying to be something we weren't. And I hate that song. I can't listen to it this day. I skip it whatever the album's on. And the other one that's Legacy. The same thing. Those were Sean's songs, by and large. I never liked them because it was just us trying to be something we weren't. Now, in Sean's defense, it was just the record company hinting that, hey, you blues-based zones hippies, maybe you could be a little more current. And we did try. You try and play ball, right? People are investing, almost $200,000 into your band, then you want to play ball and make them happy. To an extent. But it shows in the music that it just wasn't us. Well, they released one of those, I think it was Legacy as a single, and it fucking bombed. And then by then, the heat was off, whatever heat was on the band was gone. And they put out Waiting Game, which is a song I love. I personally think the second single should have been Lion, and then Waiting Game. And we would have had a fighting chance. And there were singles we left off the record, but that's a whole other vlog. So here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I love this song, and I give Sean Sanders 100% credit for writing this. This set of chords and this set of lyrics and arrangement that he essentially brought in, that was 99.9% done. We polished it up as a band, but he did a really great job of this one. I'm proud of him as I can't know if I can call him a friend anymore because he doesn't seem to want to be. Someone in my life that I love and miss, and I'm very proud of, and he did a great job on this song. And here it is, us performing it in the London Free Press office with the amazing James Reaney, supportive as always. And I hope you enjoy it. This is The Waiting Game.
Hi, this is James Reaney with this week's Reaney's Pick in London Arts and Entertainment. And this week we are thrilled to have in the newsroom 3 aces. 3 of the 4 Buffalo brothers are with us today. And I think they're going to play for us The Waiting Game.
Rue the day when everything came crashing down around us, everything we made. We're here with everything we have but never wanted. We never wanted. And it's cold and raining out tonight. There's nowhere to go. Let's stay at home and play the waiting game. Yeah, I believe in all the things you'd always hope you'd always be, just living in your dreams. nowhere to go. Let's stay at home and play the waiting game.
Woo! Woo! The Buffalo Brothers. Applause at the soundstage at lfpress.com for the Buffalo Brothers. Thank you, Mike, Archie, and Sean. And Stan will be with you on Saturday night at Call the Office when the Buffalo Brothers reunite to play The Waiting Game and all the other songs from your cult album, Magic Incinerator, and a bunch of other great stuff. And for some reason that reminds me that you can get all your arts and entertainment information every Thursday in the Today section of the London Free Press, and of course 24/7 at lfpress.com. This is James Rainey signing off saying Magic Incinerator, that does sound hot.